Hi, I'm Steven the Calculator Guy, and today we're going to talk about the bridge exploits, how to protect yourself from bridge exploits, and then like native and non-native assets and why they matter. Yes, I do have a black eye. I was punched in the face. I'd say you should see the other guy, but it was my boxing coach. We were sparring. He's fine. So let's dive into it. If you don't know, there have been a string of exploits or hacks on bridges. I'm talking about Nomad, I'm talking about Horizon, I'm talking about Wormhole. All of these have something in common, and that's that the bridge wrapped asset ended up going down in value immediately after the exploit. However, Wormhole did make their investors whole again, and Wormhole is fully functioning once again. Pretty cool. Horizon, no. Nomad, probably not. And now if you go over to the Harmony chain, you'll see these one assets. These were the bridge wrapped assets. They are no longer at peg. They're worth dramatically less than they should be. And the same will probably go for the MAD wrapped assets or the Nomad wrapped assets on Moonbeam and Evmos. So how does this happen, right? How does this work? Well, it's a pretty simple mechanism. I'm going to explain it like, I'm going to explain it as simply as possible. The way these things work, let's open up AnySwap as an example, right? And let's do USDC from Ethereum to Avalanche. I think that would be a good example. So let's do Ethereum. It's probably going to ask me to switch chains. I'm cool with that. Computer's going a bit slow. Don't worry. Let's get off of Harmony. Let's go to Ethereum. I don't have one on Ethereum. Okay, cool. So almost perfect. Let's do Avalanche because that's a really easy to think of example. So let's say I want to bridge a USDC from Ethereum to Avalanche. Perfect. What happens, right? Well, very, very, very simply, right? This is not the full mechanic, but very simply what happens is my USDC on Ethereum is native USDC, right? That's Circle USDC, Center USDC. That USDC will get locked up, burned, some people say. It'll get locked up on the AnySwap platform in a contract. And on the Avalanche side, USDC.E, which is effectively AnySwap bridge wrapped USDC will be minted, and you can redeem it on the Avalanche side. So you have the real USDC, which is locked into the protocol, and then you have not real USDC, bridge wrapped USDC, minted, that represents that on the Avalanche side. Now, you can think of it like this. Imagine that you have a banknote that represents some amount of gold, right? There's a treasury full of gold, and you have a banknote representing a portion of that gold, right? And you can go and you can trade that banknote for whatever the amount of gold that you have in that treasury is worth, right? Well, imagine now that treasury full of gold is robbed and the gold's gone. Who wants your banknote? Nobody. Demand goes down. The value of the note goes down to approximately zero. That's what happens when these hacks happen. The USDC that was locked in these bridges, whether it be Nomad or Horizon or, historically Wormhole. Wormhole, again, is fine. I'm not fighting Wormhole. The USDC was taken. So you can imagine the gold is taken out of the treasury, and people then can't redeem their banknotes, their wrapped assets, their bridge wrapped assets for the actual asset, the native asset. And so, Harmony One is a chain that was heavily affected by this because the vast majority of their assets were these one wrapped assets. This is the wrong chain. What am I on, Ethereum now? Yeah. Were the one wrapped assets. So Harmony is suffering greatly. Moonbeam is now suffering greatly. But what can you do to protect yourself from being exposed to these bridge wrapped assets? Now, if you're trying to not be exposed to any bridge wrapped assets, you're going to be in a pretty bad way. It's very difficult to do that, but it is possible. So if you go onto Circle's website, which is right over here, there it is, you can see where native USDC lives, right? Algorand, Avalanche, Ethereum, Flow, Hedera, Solana, Stellar, and Tron. Those are the, I want to say 9, is that it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. No, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different chains that you have native USDC, and then one sort of officially bridged USDC, which is on Polygon. So on these 8 chains here, you are interacting with native USDC. Now, Avalanche is a caveat. You have USDC native and you have USDC-E, which is AnySwap wrapped USDC. if you want native USDC, this is where you can do that. I thought that it was interesting that Hedera had it. It's a very small chain, but also, by the way, totally random. Hedera gives you like 30% if you stake HBAR, liquid staking on Stater. You can also hedge that off chain, get about 20% if you hedge, delta neutral. Hey, we talk about that in the Discord. Go ahead and join it. Last day today to get the $15 a month locked in price. After that, it's going to be at least $30 a month, subject to go up even higher. I do think we're $100 a month Discord, but of course, I'm not going to hike the price up that much all at once. That would be ridiculous, even though competitive Discords are at least that much. Anywho, that's what we got, right? Hedera has native USDC. So you could operate on these chains or you couldn't. Now, let's say you don't know if it's native or not. Now, it's on this list, it's not native. But if you're going through the scanner, what you'll notice is this is USDC. This is Snowcrest. This is Avalanche. This is USDC native. Let's look at USDC.E, bridged token. So if you see bridged token next to it on the scanner of the blockchain, that means it is a bridge wrapped token and that it has the potential to suffer from a bridge vulnerability or a bridge attack or bridge exploit. Now, AnySwap is like the poster child of secure bridges. However, that doesn't mean it's invulnerable. Anything, I don't want to say they can be hacked because I genuinely don't know the smart contracts well enough, but just know that this is a bridge wrap token, and bridge wrap tokens do have additional security risks to consider. If we go into Phantom Scan, we look at their USDC, look at what it says. Look at what it says, bridge token. Go to Arbitrum, look at USDC, bridged token, bridge wrapped token. Go to Moonbeam, bridged token. This is a Nomad wrapped bridge token. Nomad was exploited. This token is having a bad time. So these are just things I want you to be aware of, to have in the back of your mind, and to understand as a potential risk or vulnerability in your portfolio if you are exposed to these bridge-wrapped assets. I'm not saying that all bridge-wrapped assets should be seen as equally vulnerable, but newer bridges definitely, as well as bridges that don't have like a Trail of Bits audit or like a Halborn audit or an Open Zeppelin audit. Those are like the big three. If it has those three audits or, any combination of those, probably it's going to be all right. But if it doesn't have those, then you're playing with fire, guys. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background, understanding on what was going on there. You can look at bridge tokens. Even on Gnosis Chain, on their interesting little Block Scout scanner, they tell you this is a bridged form of USDC. So do be aware of when your assets are bridge wrapped. Be aware of when they're native. If you can stick with native, you are reducing your risk exposure. But plenty of people are getting yields on their AnySwap wrapped USDC on Phantom, and they're perfectly fine with that exposure. It's totally up to you what kind of exposure you want, but the point of this is I want you to know whether or not you're dealing with a bridge wrapped asset or a native asset, because that's my whole thing. I want you guys to be informed. I want you guys to understand what's going on. I want you to be the most nuanced and smart investors that you can possibly be to protect yourself in the ways that you think is best for you and your investments. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you know a little bit more than you did, and hopefully you can make more informed decisions. That's my whole goal. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And that's it, guys. Cheers. I don't have to do long videos because I'm not doing the YouTube ads anymore. So I can just make this quick 10-minute video, no ads, and I don't feel like I have to draw it out. Okay, I'm out. Peace.